first thing that hits you isn't the view, it's the cold. The kind that finds every seam in your clothing and takes your breath before you even speak. Out here, in the frozen wild, the temperature reads minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit, but numbers don't tell the whole story. This isn't just cold, it's the kind that makes metal snap, that turns breath into frost mid-air. I stand beside Aklak, watching him prepare the sled that's about to carry us across 200 miles of blank, white nothing. There are no roads, no signs, just instinct, tradition, and trust in what you're riding and who's pulling it. This Kamutik has been in my family for 3 generations, Aklak says, his voice muffled behind the fur ruff of his parka. His gloved hand glides along the curved wooden runners. They shine smooth, worn by years of use and decades of weather. I crouch to get a closer look. It's not just a sled. It's a masterpiece of survival engineering. Bent wood runners soaked for days and shaped to precision. Flexible enough to bend across rough ice. Strong enough to hold over 500 pounds. Every piece is bound by sealskin, not a single nail. Metal, Aklak explains, turns brittle in this kind of cold, but sealskin, it tightens as it freezes. Nature's zip ties. He starts loading gear while talking. This entire thing, 50 pounds of wood and rawhide, can haul 10 times its weight. He tosses supplies into the bed of the sled with the ease of someone who's done this 100 times. The runners are exactly 27 inches apart, he adds. Too wide, you can't steer. Too narrow, and we tip every 5 minutes. It's like finding jeans that actually fit. Harder than it sounds. Nearby, another sled rests on the snow. Its runners are made from whale jawbone. When driftwood's scarce, we use what we have, Aklak says with a shrug. We were upcycling long before your coffee shops made it trendy. He shows me how they rub moss and water onto the bone, letting it freeze into a slick surface. Every detail, down to the sinew lashings on the crossbars, has a reason. When he presses a corner of the sled, the whole frame flexes. Not stiff, but alive, like it's breathing with the terrain. By the time the sled is ready, the dogs are too. 8 of them, thick-furred and restless, watching us with sharp eyes and misty breath. Their excitement pulses in the air. You can feel it. Now comes the real part, Aklak says, tightening the last knot. Building the sled is easy. What happens next? That's the test. He looks over the horizon, a vast frozen stretch with no end in sight. Then down at the dogs, who are practically vibrating with anticipation. He pats the frame once, like someone wishing good luck to an old friend. The wind howls louder, and suddenly the cold doesn't feel like the only thing waiting out there. It's not just survival, it's the start of something primal. Dog, sled, and human, bound together in motion. Enjoying the video? Tap the red subscribe button. It's free, quick, and helps others find Arctic stories. Your support keeps the channel alive. Before we move an inch, the team has to be harnessed. Not just physically, but mentally too. Out here, 8 dogs aren't just animals. They're your engine, your brakes, your GPS, and your only shot at getting home. Each harness slips into place with practiced ease. A central gang line stretches out from the sled, individual tug lines connecting each dog to it. Simple in design, but unforgiving in execution. Every line has to be just right, Aklak mutters, adjusting one. Too short, they can't run right. Too long, they'll tangle. It's like sorting headphone cords, except these ones bark and have teeth. Fully spread out, the team extends 40 feet ahead of us, a living line of power and precision. They stand still, but barely, muscles tight, eyes forward, breath rising like steam. They look like a choir of gladiators waiting for a conductor. It's almost sacred. The lead dog catches my eye first, a sharp-eyed female with a calm focus that seems to pierce the white glare of the landscape. She's the brain, Aklak says, understands over 20 voice commands, chooses the path, sets the pace. She can spot dangerous ice before I even know it's there. Behind her, 2 swing dogs stand ready. They help steer the team when commands are called out. They're the muscle with a brain. Think middle management, minus the meetings and coffee addiction. Further back are 4 team dogs, pure powerhouses. These are the ones who pull like they're dragging mountains. If the sled were a rocket, these dogs would be the fuel tanks. And finally, closest to the sled are the wheel dogs, massive, powerful, and alert. They're the only ones who can actually see the sled while running, which means they have to be smart. If they don't adjust, Aklak says, we tip, we crash, we freeze. He steps back to review his team. Each dog has a job. Each job has weight. Then, with a grin, no mascots, in -60, everyone earns their keep. Even the funny ones, I ask. In this weather, we can't afford passengers, not even comedians, he replies with a smirk. Aklak walks me through the art of mounting the sled. It's not as simple as standing still and holding tight. It's a dance, balance, reflexes, and timing. If you lean wrong, you fall. If you miss a bump, you crash. And if you try to show off, well, you eat snow. He climbs onto the back runners and gives me a nod. Ready? Before I can reply, he shouts a command, and the dogs launch. It's not a start, it's a jolt, like being snapped into a new reality by a team of furry rockets. The sled groans, snow kicks up behind us, and suddenly, we're flying. No engine, no sound but the hiss of wooden runners on packed snow, the steady rhythm of paws, the occasional jingle of metal. It's silent music, composed by instinct and motion. And just like that, we're no longer standing still in the Arctic. We're part of it. There's something surreal about gliding over snow at speed, with no engine beneath you. No fuel, no gears, just instinct. Ice, and dogs born for this. The sled surges forward, powered by 8 bodies that move as one. There's no jerking start, no build-up. One moment we're still, the next we're flying. My knees lock. My grip tightens on the sled handle. My first instinct is to scream, not in fear, but in disbelief. It's like being strapped to a roller coaster with no seatbelt and no tracks. We hit a small rise and then swoop downward, snow spraying from the runners. The wind rushes past, cutting into my cheeks. But what really stands out is the sound, or the lack of it. No roaring engine, no churning wheels, just a strange and beautiful soundtrack. The soft scrape of the sled on ice, the synchronized breathing of the dogs, the occasional metallic jingle from the harnesses. This is nature's version of surround sound, clean, raw, immersive. Lean with the sled, Aklak calls from behind. Let it follow your body. I try. I really do. But the first few turns are anything but graceful. If there were an Olympic sport for awkward snow dancing, I'd qualify instantly. My legs wobble like overcooked noodles, and for a moment, I'm sure I'll fall. Not bad, Aklak says. You haven't kissed the snow yet. Yet, I mutter. We snake through narrow channels and open flats. Each shift in terrain demands tiny adjustments. Aklak demonstrates with barely a word, shifting his weight side to side, guiding the sled like an extension of himself. We reach a gentle hill, and the dogs push harder. Their shoulders roll like pistons, driving us upward without hesitation. At the crest, gravity takes over. We pick up speed fast, too fast. Aklak plants one boot into the snow, using it like a brake. Can't let the sled outrun them, he says. We lose tension, we lose control. It's a balancing act. Faster than comfort, slower than chaos. The sled must remain taut behind the dogs, not dragging them, not chasing them. Every second, the wheel dogs adjust, using tiny speed corrections to keep the team in sync. This isn't just travel, it's choreography. The farther we go, the more I realize how intuitive the dogs are. They shift their pace based on terrain, snow density, and how the sled feels behind them. Aklak barely speaks. One word commands, a whistle, a murmur, and they respond instantly. When he says, G, we veer right. Haw, and we shift left. No steering wheel, no reins, just ancient language passed down from musher to musher, and dogs that understand the trail better than most GPS systems. We hit another patch of rough ice. Whoa, Aklak says calmly. The team slows without stopping. We ride over the hazard in a careful trot, then resume our earlier pace once the snow smooths out. I glance back at him. How do you know when to slow down? You feel it through the runners, he says. The sled talks to you. Smooth snow feels one way, ice feels another. After a while, you stop looking. You just feel. And as I shift my weight with the next curve, I start to believe him. After hours of gliding through the Arctic silence, the rhythm of the sled changes. The dogs begin to slow, not from exhaustion, but anticipation. Aklak gives a soft command, and the lead dog guides us toward a flat patch of wind-packed snow. The moment the sled halts, we're no longer travelers, we're caretakers. There's no lounging, no idle time. Every stop is deliberate. First priority, secure the sled. Aklak drives a heavy snow hook into the ground. Without it, the team might take off on their own the moment something rustles. The dogs may look calm now, but inside, they're still running. They stare at us with the betrayed look of kids told recess is over. Why aren't they tired? I ask, stretching my sore legs. They are, Aklak says, unclipping harnesses. But they're built for this. At home, they sleep 18 hours a day. Out here, they stay locked in. I nod, rubbing a knee that feels older than it should. My work mode crashes harder than my laptop on a bad update. With practiced hands, Aklak moves through the team. He checks each dog from nose to tail, more thorough than any airport security. I know when my dogs need a break before they do, he says, lifting one paw and inspecting between the toes. He cleans out packed snow and applies a waxy balm that protects against cracks and frostbite. This one's got a sore pad, he mutters, rubbing gently. Like noticing your toddler's about to cry before they even make a sound. Next comes hydration. Aklak melts snow on a compact stove, then mixes it with fish broth from a thermos. The smell could end conversations, but the dogs gather instantly. To them, it's a high-performance smoothie after a marathon. Each dog drinks a liter of the warm liquid. They'll go through 4 to 6 liters a day, Aklak tells me, twice what most people drink. As they sip, he massages shoulders, haunches, and joints with quick, firm strokes. These are athletes. Recovery matters. I raise an eyebrow. Honestly, this is better care than I've gotten at some spas. They don't leave Yelp reviews, he says with a smile, but you'll know by how they run tomorrow. Fed and inspected, the dogs finally curl into the snow. Some dig shallow pits to shield from the wind. Others simply tuck into tight balls and rest. They settle as if the snow itself were a mattress. No tents, no blankets, just sub-zero air and their own biology. They can sleep in minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit, Aklak says. Their metabolism slows. These short naps, worth 80% of a full sleep cycle. While the dogs sleep, he rummages through a leather bag attached to the sled. He pulls out several frozen pouches. Trail food. Not for us, but for them. Time to refuel the engines. He unwraps chunks of seal meat blended with fat. High-energy meals designed for this climate. The dogs spring up, ready again in seconds. They burn up to 12,000 calories a day, he explains. You can't do that on dry kibble. One husky devours his portion in 3 chomps. I watch, awed. I wish energy bars tasted that good, I say. Mine feel like chewing a health textbook dipped in fake banana. The sled dogs eat, rest, and prepare without a word. And somehow, I feel like I'm watching something more than routine. It's ritual. It's trust. It's the part of the journey where bodies heal and bonds deepen, without noise, without fuss. Just a quiet moment of strength in the heart of the Arctic. They don't just run, they burn. And to keep that fire going, every bite matters. As the dogs devour their meals, frozen chunks of seal meat mixed with fat, I realize we're watching an ancient fueling system in action. There's no kibble here, no factory formulas, just time-tested, high-fat, protein-rich food designed to deliver quick energy and warmth. That's like eating a whole pizza every hour, I say, watching one husky finish and instantly curl back into the snow. And still losing weight, Aklak replies. These dogs burn between 10,000 and 12,000 calories a day. It's staggering. While the average person might eat 2,000 calories, these animals consume 6 times that, and still come back leaner after long journeys. Aklak hands out portions with care, giving slightly more to the wheel dogs, the ones closest to the sled, doing the heaviest pulling. Different roles, different needs, he says. You don't feed a sprinter and a weightlifter the same diet. Same goes for dogs. Traditional Inuit mushers have always known this. Their dog diets can be up to 60% fat, packing maximum energy into minimum volume. We can't haul sacks of dry food across the tundra, Aklak explains. Too heavy, too bulky. This stuff? It's compact, efficient, and it works. As I watch him distribute the last pieces, I notice each dog gets exactly what it needs. No more, no less. Even the snacks he keeps in his coat for mid-run breaks are carefully measured. Small frozen fish bits or meat chunks handed out as both reward and fuel. How do you know how much is enough? I ask. You watch their bodies, he says. Too thin? Feed more? Too heavy? Cut back. On long trips, they'll lose weight anyway. It's just about controlling how much and how fast. That's the reverse of a human vacation, I joke. We try to gain 10 pounds and blame it on hotel pancakes. He chuckles. Our goal is the opposite. Finish strong, not stuffed. Feeding isn't just about volume. Timing is crucial. Dogs don't eat right before running. It's dangerous. Digesting while working can lead to bloating or worse. So, they're fed during long rest breaks, especially at night, when their bodies have time to process food and convert it into warmth. Digestion becomes heat, Aklak says. Feed them before sleep, and it helps them stay warm till morning. Their stomachs, in a way, become internal heaters, slow-burning furnaces against the Arctic night. I sit for a moment, watching them rest again after eating. The energy has shifted. They're calmer now, quieter. The team feels different, more grounded, more connected. Not just to each other, but to us. There's a kind of invisible thread tying musher to dog, meal to strength, rest to purpose. I don't see leashes, I see bonds. And as I sip from my own thermos, trying to ignore the taste of artificial banana in my energy bar, I realize something else. This isn't just survival, it's mastery. You don't just work with sled dogs, you live with them, rely on them, trust them more than some people you've known for years. By now, I can see that clearly in the way Aklak moves among his team. He doesn't shout, he doesn't force, he listens, and so do they. Every dog's got a personality, he says, motioning to a broad-chested male with one blue eye and one brown. That one loves to pull, but he hates deep snow. He'll run till his heart gives out on hardpack. But let the snow get above his elbows, he'll whine the whole way. Sounds like me, I admit. Happy on the treadmill, but threaten me with burpees and I'm calling a lawyer. But it's more than quirks and preferences. Aklak doesn't just know their habits. He knows how they fit. Like puzzle pieces, each dog complements another. Bold with cautious, old with young, quiet with spirited. You don't just build a team by strength, he says. You build it by balance. Studies have shown that sled dog teams with shared history, dogs that have run together for multiple seasons, can finish long-distance journeys up to 30% faster than physically identical teams with no shared experience. It's not about muscle, it's about chemistry. It's like a workplace where everyone actually gets along, I say, and no one needs a trust fall exercise to prove it. But the bond goes even deeper. Do they know when something's wrong with you? I ask. Always, Aklak says without pause. 2 years ago, I got a fever on the trail. Couldn't think straight. I never said a word. The dogs just slowed, kept pace easy. When I collapsed, they circled around me, formed a wall against the wind, kept me warm all night. He says it plainly, not with drama, but respect, like he's describing something sacred. Research backs it up. Sled dogs have an uncanny ability to detect changes in human stress levels. picking up hormone shifts through scent. They can react to a musher's anxiety before the musher even realizes they're stressed. These dogs aren't just smart, they're emotionally tuned. So they're like fuzzy mood rings, I say, except more accurate than those ones from the 90s that just turned blue when your fingers were sweaty. Aklak laughs, but there's weight behind his next words. When a storm hits, when you can't see your hand in front of your face, when it's -60 and your fingers won't move, what you have with these dogs, that's what keeps you alive. As we continue gliding through the white silence, that truth settles in my chest. This isn't just transport, it's partnership. A living, breathing system where the dogs trust the musher and the musher trusts the dogs. Every command, every pause, every turn is built on years of shared trial and instinct. I look ahead at the lead dog. Her ears are alert, her body calm, reading the world in ways no machine ever could. And it hits me. This isn't 8 dogs and 2 people moving across the snow. This is one team. We press on through the frozen expanse, the sled runners whispering against the snow. The sun hangs low, never fully rising, never truly setting, casting a soft silver light across the horizon. It's easy to lose track of time here. The cold, the wind, the rhythm of the dogs. It all blends into something timeless. As we ride in silence, I ask a question that's been tugging at the edges of my mind. What's the closest call you've ever had? Aklak doesn't answer right away. Instead, he watches the lead dog for a moment, then speaks. Last winter, white out, couldn't see more than an arm's length in any direction. No sky, no ground, just white. He pauses, his breath fogging the air. I was lost. The wind had buried all the landmarks. Trails vanished beneath feet of new snow. There was no horizon, no reference point, just disorientation and silence. For a musher, that's the worst kind of danger. You don't freeze all at once. You make one bad decision, then another, and then it's too late. But she wasn't, he says, nodding toward the lead dog. She found our way back, smelled the old trail under 2 feet of snow, shifted when the ice beneath us thinned. Even before I knew it, she was steering us to safety. He doesn't embellish. He doesn't need to. Because that story is the story. This life out here doesn't run on fuel or GPS. It runs on trust. It runs on instincts shared between species who've depended on each other for centuries. Dogs who read the world through scent, pressure, and vibration. Mushers who read their dogs the way sailors read the sea. The bond isn't built in moments of peace. It's forged in storms, in whiteouts, in long nights and impossible conditions. Out here, the dogs are more than tools or pets. They're partners. They feel shifts in weather, sniff out danger beneath snow, and sense fear in a musher's silence. They're the reason stories like Aklak's don't end in tragedy. As the trail begins to dip again, the team quickens their pace. We've found rhythm again, the kind you can't fake, the kind that only comes from surviving the impossible together. The snow crunches, the sled creaks, and the lead dog glances back. Just for a second. It's not a check-in. It's a signal. We're good. Let's keep going. And so we do. We glide forward, not just across ice, but across history. Across every journey ever made by dog and human under the Arctic sky. The tools may evolve, the maps may change, but the heart of it, that never does. This is motion. This is survival. This is the bond that runs deeper than snow,